Let me show you the secret I've been doing for 30 plus years to get a crisp French smile line. This is a technique I have been doing almost my entire career, and it is the crispiest way to get a French smile line. It's a bit of work, and once you master it though, you will kill it. Let me show you how to do it. Warning, if you are not used to using an e-file, do not start with this bit. Practice this bit first, especially on yourself before you take it and use it on customers. This bit changed the French line nail game for me. I used to carve them in with a bit similar, but it was more like straight. This is a slight curve, and you can see that. See that slant on either side? That's going to help you carve around the edge so smoothly, and I'll show you just how to do that. But you really want to learn this technique before you start going at, especially customers. Really try to master this before you start doing that. Work with it on a low speed. Now, this would apply not to new sets, of course. This applies to when you're doing the regular fills. When a customer comes in and they have something like what I'm wearing now, or something like this, anything, and they decide they want to have French. I'm going to leave the white polish on because you'll be able to really see where I'm carving it in. If it's all nude and skin tone, you can't see it as well. But this is what I do. Turn it on a low speed. So picture where you want the smile line to be. Take your pinky. Now, if you're working on yourself, of course, this is what you're going to do. But if you have a real person, you're holding their finger and you're pulling back the skin. So that's what I'm simulating here when I push my finger. And I'm going to get right in the corner, and just that very tip of that corner is starting at the peak point of my smile line. Now, see how I did that curve? That is because of the flare. When I had the bit before, it was straight. I'd have to really work the arm. But now with that flared bit doing some of the corner for you, it's much, much easier. So I'm going to go in with that, and I'm going to go all the way around and up the other side. Now I'm going to flip my hand a little, and I'm going to pull back the skin, and I'm going to bring that point, that peak, right up into the very side. See that? Look at that. Beautiful, perfect smile line, right? Then I will flip my bit, and I'm going to put in my bulk and sculpt. And I'm going to remove all of this end. Just take off all the gel. Now what I'm doing is putting in a new color. In this case, I'm going to use my new tuxedo collection. It's an acrylic glitter. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to show you. But I'm going to make sure that I carve the depth down quite thin. In fact, you could even actually take it off if you want. Or you can leave that little ledge to hold the product if you like. It doesn't matter. But it does matter that this ledge here, not the white part, but from here on, has to be very, 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 I can't stress enough, thin. So I'm taking out the bulk. Sure, and if I look at it sideways, you see how there's that step down? That's what I'm looking for. But, see this bit? See how it's got that nice round top? That's a safety bit. That's great for buffing up against the cuticles and you don't cut them, but it ain't great for French. Get rid of it. Put back your French cut bit. And what we are looking for that French cut bit is we want a wall. Like, it is not slanted at all, not angled at all, a wall. So I'm going to go back up into the side. And now I am creating that wall. No slant. It's not a hill, not driving up a hill. You're falling off the cliff. A straight, sheer cliff. I can't stress that enough. Now be extra careful when you come up into the beaks of those sides. because it's going to be thinner there. The reason being, that's how a nail is built. We taper off to the side and it's thinner. So because it's thinner, it's not as thick as this point. So this point, you can dig quite a bit deeper. But when you get to this point, don't, because you don't want to carve into the nail. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now let's tilt it sideways. Oh, baby, you see that? That's exactly what we are looking for. That is a total sheer drop-off cliff. No slant to it whatsoever. That's what we want. Okay, so now I'm just going to take out the little bit of the bulk. Just making sure this is as flat as I said. I'm going to look down the barrel and make sure that's nice and flat. I mean, like I say, if you want, you could also take it off. It doesn't have to be there whatsoever. Oh, it's getting thin. It's getting wobbly. This could be gel in here too, so it might be a little bit softer to file. Now here's a thing you can do, or you don't have to do. I sometimes, if I didn't do as good a job with the little swipe, which is hard to do, that took me years to learn how to do it in a single swipe and make it look very, very smooth. So if you're not feeling confident in that, grab a medium file. Don't grab a fine. I learned the hard way. Don't grab a fine file, because if it's too fine, it makes it too smooth and then the product won't stick as well. And I've had nails actually break in that spot because it was too fine. So make sure it's a little bit grittier. And all you're doing here, and like I say, you don't have to do this depending on how you feel about it, but you can just go around and crisp up that smile line if you feel you just want to make it a little bit crispier. Okay, that's crispy. I like that. Now we're ready to put our color in. Now again, remember I said I left the white gel? I left that white gel so you could see specifically how crispy it is. If it is nude in color, you wouldn't be able to see it as much. So I really, really wanted to see it. So I am very happy now with that crispy edge. So now I'm just going to remove the white gel before I put my glitter product in. Let me just take off that white gel. I'm just going to go around the cuticle just to make sure there's no little crusties in there, and making sure all the gel polish is right out of there. And any other debris. Okay. I'm going to remove the dust. Now in this case, there is product on there. So I don't need to use any primer or anything like that because there is virtually no natural nail in there at all. Okay, I'm going to remove this little dust. Oh, black. Worst color to wear for a nail technician. Okay, so now I'm going to get my monomer out. Oh, look. It was so thin right there, it just broke off. But that's okay. It didn't interfere with our French line whatsoever. Like I say, you don't need this layer. If it's there, you can file down thin to it, but that's how thin I had it. It wasn't, I just moved my napkin here and it just broke off. But that's okay. Like I say, I don't need it. I was going to form it up anyway. Okay, so I'm going to get my monomer. So I just want to turn this sideways to show. Even though we lost that tip, I still want to show you we still have the wall. I have to put my hand behind it because you can't really see it. See that? That is a definite cliff. That's what we want. So that little piece that broke off was just the, well, that's why we use forms, right? It was just a ledge. And again, you don't need it. And now that I mean, often I will just take it off. And if it was a different color, like if it was a pink or a black or any deeper color, you wouldn't be able to see the color we're going to put on through anyway. So if the customer doesn't like any type of nail type stuff underneath, natural nail or fake nail, get rid of it. So in this case, it just came off for us and made the decision for us. Okay, so I'm just going to form this up because I want to go a little longer anyway. Once we put the form on, we'll be able to see the ledge a little bit better. Okay, the color we're going to use is called I'm with the White Tux. It's a kind of champagne-y, tiny tinge of pink, depending on the color screen you're looking at or how you look at it, but it's got a little warmness to it. The great thing about making that wall is you want to put the product right up to it. One of the hardest things about French lines is when you put the product down, it's trying to shape it up. But if you've already got this in there, you put your product up to that cliff, half the work is done for you. This is what I'm talking about. So we're going to take our first bead, and you do not need to put a thin layer of acrylic down. That's completely unnecessary. But when I put this bead on here, see how it's matching right up to it? It goes right up to it. That's going to give you the crispiest line ever. If you just want to pop it right up to it. See that? That's lovely. You can swipe it if you go over a tad little bit, you can do that. Look at that, that's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna grab another bead and I'm going to crawl this one up the side to get that little peak that I'm looking for to go right up in there. Now this is going to be lower. You're not going to have the high wall on this side at all. Reason being is because it is much, much more lower there, because you're not going to have that high nail in there, because we don't build nails that high on the side. You just want to coax that product up into the side of that nice little peak. And you want to keep any sparkle off of that nail plate, or off of the nail bed part, right? I got one there too. I'm going to have to get rid of that one. Okay, then I'm going to turn it sideways. And I'm going to get a nice little bead here. And I'm going to pop it into the side there. And I'm going to coax that bead right up into the corner. Now, getting a nice sharp corner on a French with a glitter is a little bit harder because it is a glitter. It's made up of lots of little glitters to make that solid color. So naturally, the thinner you make it, the less strong of a point it's going to be. See, I still got a little playtime. That's the glitter. That really slows things down. So I am now going to pop another bead on that free edge part and build it out to where I want it. Oh, let's have a little fun. It's the season, right? Let's go a little bit longer, just because we can. You can see how much playtime you've got there. That's the beauty of glitter. Okay, I'm just going to take a look at it lengthwise and see if I make sure everything. I always do that just to make sure, because when you're doing yourself, you can get a little bit crooked. So you want to make sure you got everything proper. Now, sometimes when you're working with glitter, because we have that step down, sometimes glitter will settle a little and you can almost see that step down. And I feel like I can see that right in here and right in here. I don't like that, and I want it to be very even. So I am going to pop another bead right in here and another one right in here. I want to fill that out and make it look like it is one smooth piece. And don't care how many beads that you use when you're making a nail. You can use one, or you can use 10. Very rarely do I see when one is used, especially the longer the nail, it's not as good. So don't try to get to that one bead situation. You don't want to do that. Beauty. So now I'm seeing a much more even surface. Okay, so some people might not agree with me on this, but again, I've been doing this for years. Whenever I'm working with glitter, I clean my brush. If I'm going in to work with the clearer colors like pink and nudes and I don't want any glitter anywhere, I will clean my brush in acetone. And the reason being is because acetone doesn't mess around. It takes out all of the glitter, stickiness, ickiness, whatever. It takes it all out. Look at that. And you do want to get rid of it because unless you're organized, and I'm not organized that much, to have another brush that you use solely for glitter, you could do that. And the reason why some people don't like this is because they think that acetone is going to dry the brush out. Sure. If you leave it in there all the time, yes, it will. But you're just doing it for a few minutes. No different than when you're wiping it on your skin for a minute. When you're removing stuff around your nail, it evaporates very, very quickly. And it takes away everything. So I will do this. And you can see, look at the glitter just coming off of there, right? And then I recondition my brush in the monomer. And I do that right away. But I will also flip my paper towel, because if you don't flip your paper towel, you're going to have glitter all in because of the paper towel has so much glitter on it. Okay? And then I will go in my monomer and soak it and get all the bristles reconditioned with that monomer back on there again. And then the effects of the acetone are absolutely nil. It's gone. See, it was just a few seconds. Just a few seconds. So make sure you change your paper towel though, because this one's full of glitter. I mean, it can't be perfect. I mean, I'll use glitter on a Monday and I will definitely find it again on the next Friday. Glitter's everywhere. Now, before you go ahead and put any pink or clear to cap this, just make sure that you don't have any glitter on the nail plate. See that little glitter there? We're going to get rid of them. I mean, it's getting really picky. I mean, you don't have to get that nuts, but if you're particular, if your customer's particular, make sure there's no glitter on there, okay? Now I've got a mixture here of my pink tint and foundation pink, and I'm going to clear cap this as well. I just want to hold the design in there. Look at that, there's a little glitter there. They always find their way. I got rid of it. So if you're going to do a little extra layer of pink, I like to do it because I want that nice smooth transition. Just make sure you don't cross your pink over top of that beautiful French line and the glitter you just put it down there. Okay. And now I'm going to cap the whole thing. That's going to give it its strength, and that's going to secure in the color. You want to clear cap your glitters because your clear is the strongest of the acrylic. And just bring that clear cap all the way down, covering your entire nail. I needed one more little bead for the free edge there. Okay, remember the first color coat we put on there, that glittered acrylic, it's cured because we've been messing around doing everything else. So that's already dry. So the top layers are not dry yet. So I'm just going to take the form off, get rid of it. Now I'm going to let this cure, and then we're going to file it all up. Okay, so I just went ahead and filed it all up. And now is the moment of truth. I'm going to get some dust off of there, some under there, and let's get it off the hand. Then we want to put some top coat on it, and that's when we're going to be able to see. Oh, that's the nerve-wracking part. When you're doing it for a client, you're like, at least you got 10 fingers. But we're just doing it for one, so we're really going to scrutinize this one finger. Want to make sure that this worked. So let's get a top coat on here and see how crispy our French line actually is.
You can take your mask off, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. I often forget. I'm so used to wearing it. Okay. Here's the moment of truth. We're going to put a nice top coat on there. And it's really going to bring to life that color. And it's really going to magnify that nice crisp French line. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh, I love it. Okay, let's nuke it. And then I'm going to do the whole hand. Maybe we should take a look at the photos now. Reveal photos, cameraman.
Coming your way.
Okay, we need to get some oil on that cuticle to get rid of that dust. And that's what you want. You want those cuticles to be dry like that because we don't want it to be, with oils in there when you're working on the nail. But look at that nice crisp line. We're not quite finished. The last thing you want to do is we need that tiny drop of oil. And just let that sink in to the whole cuticle. I got a tiny little hangnail there. I've chopped it away a few times, but dry kind of, I guess, this time of year, right? Just get the oil to soak in there, and then I'll give it a little bit of a massage in there. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that nice crisp line. We did crispy. That is crispy. Love it. Okay, so I have lots of acrylic colors. This is my newest collection called the Tuxedo Collection. You can find that at nailcareer.com. And I hope you guys have a great, happy holiday season.